focus. Ideate, innovate, enable. Forbes India presents the Data Circle, India's change makers, in association with Snowflake.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Forbes India present the Data Circle, India's change makers, in association with Snowflake, where we celebrate innovation, excellence, and the transformative power of technology in the business world. I'm Swati Shahi. In this rapidly evolving digital age, the ability to adapt, innovate, and leverage technology isn't just a choice, it's an imperative. This evening here today is dedicated to those who have recognized this very imperative and risen to the occasion. It's a tribute to those who've demonstrated the adaptation and evolution that these are not just buzzwords, but tangible actions that drive business excellence. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, to commence the evening, please join me in welcoming on stage Brian Carvalho, editor, Forbes India. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to Forbes India's The Data Circle, India's Change Makers, in association with Snowflake. This evening is an occasion to celebrate such exceptional CIOs, CDOs, and CTOs who have redefined their organizations through strategic technological innovations, leading from the front lines. These exceptional individuals are the driving force behind the Data Circle's top tech leaders, charting a course for the next phase of tech-fueled growth. The technology leaders we honor today symbolize the transformative power of digital technology, embodying the spirit of innovation and foresight that defines our gathering here tonight. With that, I extend a warm welcome to all of you at the Data Circle and express my heartfelt gratitude for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Brian, for setting the context of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, as we progress through the evening, we now approach a pivotal moment wherein we shed light on leveraging data as a strategic asset to drive business success. With that, I now invite on stage Sanjay Deshmukh, Senior Vice President, ASEAN and India, Snowflake, to address the gathering on winning in the data economy. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause.
What I wanted to share with you as we kick off this discussion is how do we win in this new data economy, or if I should say, data and AI economy. I know each one of you is a leading technology leader, a data leader, and you have a bold vision for your individual organization, and you absolutely believe that in the near future, this is going to be a data economy. But let me just level set first and talk about why we believe that in the near future, this is going to be a data economy. In this new world, whether you're trying to optimize cost, or you're trying to offer a customer a better experience, or you're trying to grow your revenue, the one common theme across all of that is going to help you is data, right? And I hope you agree with me when I say that data is going to be the key element which will determine your success in the future, right? We believe that there are three specific strategies that you need to adapt if you want to win in this new economy, right? In this new data economy, right? And the first one really is about having a data and AI strategy in place in your organization. And the reason I'm intentionally using this word that you need to have a data and AI strategy is because there is so much of evolution that's happening here, whether it is with what has happened with Gen AI and ChatGPT in the last 6 months, or with what the user expectations are and how you can unlock value from data. It is important that you have a data and AI strategy in place before you start embarking on this journey. The second one is about building the data-driven culture, which is to do with people and process. And it really depends on what kind of organization you are and where you are in your journey and how you build the data-driven culture. But that's the second and the most important strategy for you to succeed in this new data economy. And the third one is to focus on data monetization. So those are the three key elements of a strategy to succeed in this new world. The data and AI strategy, again, there are three elements, right? The first one is fairly simple, which is we need to all commit ourselves to make that we break down all the silos that are there in our enterprise. The second one is about this concept of recognizing that data has gravity. And the third is about having focus on data governance. Governance has to be a core part of the strategy and not an afterthought, right? These three elements, in our view, will help you build a successful data and AI strategy. Then you will be able to truly unlock the value of data for your enterprise. The second one I talked about is about building a data-driven culture, right? And again, this is probably the most important topic which we cannot solve directly because we are a technology partner, right? This is something which, if I have to rate it in terms of the difficulty levels, I would say this is the most challenging one because this is to do with people. This is to do with the process, right? And you know, India is a democratic country, which means that people don't just do what you tell them to do. They have their own point of view, and they will reason, and hence they may, do things differently, right? So, but it is important. There are few best practices that I can share with you of how we can build a data-driven culture in your organization, although it is very challenging and it is to do with people and process, right? So the first one is about executive sponsorship. People watch who is saying and what they are saying. So that's the first step in building, building that data-driven culture, which is executive sponsorship, and every single business ahead literally mandating that all conversations have to be data-driven. It cannot be that I summarize and make the numbers look good for my business and put it up in PowerPoint and talk about that, right? So that's the first step. Again, extremely challenging, but it's an important one. The second is literacy. I mean, again, it depends on what kind of company you are. If you are a startup or a digital native and you have been in business for 2 years, your average age of employees is less than 30 or 35, probably you don't have that problem because you have people who come with that kind of data literacy skills. Either they have studied in university or they have those analytical bent of mind and they are able to use data. But if you are an organization who's been in business for 20 plus years or 25 plus years, your average employee age is about, let's say, 45 plus or whatever, I'm sure you will struggle with that problem because there is a vast percentage of your employees, they do not have the data literacy skills. And we have to invest that effort in building the data literacy skills. And I'm not talking about tools. I'm not talking about training them on Tableau or Snowflake or whatever, right? I'm talking about just the fact that they need to make data-driven decisions and what's the value of that in the business, and then comes the tool, right? But that's the second and the most important thing in building the data-driven culture. The third one, you might find it surprising, but we have seen it that this has helped a lot of companies become successful in building the culture. And that third one is about creating a brand, or I will simply call it as branding. So you must be thinking, what is branding got to do with creating a data-driven culture? So let me explain, right? We highly encourage all of our customers, data leaders and tech leaders, to brand the data modernization or the digital transformation initiatives. It's extremely important. It has to be a name that people resonate with. It has to be something that reflects your vision and your brand, right? And it has to be sort of propagated and amplified in every single forum. And the last thing, which in my mind is the most important thing, which is data monetization. And I have to say this, that out of many customer projects that we have seen, only a small percentage of customers are focused on data monetization. And data monetization is a very generic word. The general interpretation of data monetization is that, am I able to monetize the data, use the data, unlock the value of data, which is in a way a right definition. But what I literally mean is there revenue on your balance sheet because of this data initiative? So Snowflake, what we have done is we've created a marketplace which gives you an opportunity to list these insights and marketplace which people can access. One is search for them, identify, access, and monetize that. We don't participate in the monetization, by the way. You get paid directly by the end person customer who's really interested in your insights or data, and we don't participate. We only facilitate, right? But now you can build a large language model which has worked in your business, and you can put that in the Snowflake marketplace, and somebody can take that and deploy it on their sets of data. So the monetization is not restricted just to the data. It could be an app, it could be a model, or it could be an insight. With that, thank you for being a patient audience and listening to this strategy that what I had to share with you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Sanjay, for sharing those insights. Truly, data is the new oil of the digital economy. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to a very special conversation on the next frontier, unleashing the power of digital transformation. In a digital first world where technology leaders play a pivotal role in reshaping businesses for the digital age, they're pioneering the path to a more innovative, connected, and efficient future. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a unique and interactive experience as I call upon stage my colleague Paramita Chatterjee to take this session forward. Let's welcome her with a huge round of applause, please.
This session is unique and special because this is a chance. We said, listen, let's do away. We are all talking about the new world, the new economy. So let's do away with those boring panel discussions. Instead, let's make you part of the conversation. And we've got some marquee names here. In fact, all of you are indeed charting a new course in your specific arena, depending on which sector that you're in, when it comes to digital transformation. And that's what we want to learn from you. You know, what have been those experiences that you've had? Most of the conversations are all about implementing the right data strategy. And companies are struggling, especially whether you're in the legacy space, you've got legacy systems, or you're a digital natives, the challenges are all very different. I'm going to start off with financial services and actually the banking space. We've got Axis Bank with us. Sandeep Shilke is here. And Sandeep, my question to you here is that, you know, if you look at the banking space and we are talking about data, and it's a deluge out there, right? Share with us, when you heard from Sanjay, for instance, some of those pillars of implementing the right data strategy, what has worked for you and what's the biggest challenge that you're facing in a bank such as yours, which has also gone in for a mammoth acquisition, which is including Citi's retail business?
Data monetizations that you talked about. So that really help us because that we are doing as a part of in banking, data monetizations and like cross-selling of the products to the customers and all. So that all happens through data monetizations from our end. As far as challenge is concerned, so the sizing of the database is the major concern to us. So, you know, like our few of the core bankings and other core database are in TBs,
Okay.
more than TBs. So
basically the scale of the kind of data that you're facing. And it's a problem that many people face in the banking space. We have Sunny A joining us from South Indian Bank. And South Indian Bank, if I may say, though it's a very old, I mean, you've been a brand which has been around, but you've really catapulted yourself into the digital transformation journey and been fairly aggressive at that. From a, you know, just facing, whether it is customer facing or whether it is your internal processes, how do you handle some of these issues when it comes to scale, when it comes to integrating that data and really making it usable for you at the bank?
See, there are two sets of problems, just to add to what Sandeep was mentioning. I mean, the scale part that you mentioned, obviously, you know, the infra and everything has to be kept at levels where it's highly unpredictable. I mean, today, unlike the past, most of us as CIOs, we generally don't get too much of idea in terms of what's going to happen tomorrow. Forget about 3 years or 2 years down the road. So to have the governance structure for the data flow, not only for the transaction part, but also to have analysis on the fly. Like today, you have so many options coming up. I'm sure most of us would be aware of the fact that UPI now is getting a credit line on the fly. This is probably going to become another game changer because, you know, you're going to do an underwriting on a real-time basis based on a mix of data, which has come in the past and probably which is happening as we speak.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. And this is not just for you. It's for banks across the board. We have a lot of stockbrokers here. I mean, we have a lot of brokers here, Anand Rathi, and we've got Godrej Capital as well, ma'am. We need to have your voice heard. You know, Godrej Capital, you've come into the business, you're providing funding for individuals, home loans, a whole bunch of stuff, right? You know, what's been your data journey like, especially coming from a company which is, you know, as storied a history as Godrej?
We were very clear on our data strategy. So as part of that, the data platform, I think the clear plan was there, and the single source of truth that we have been talking about, that we could achieve. So very proudly we can say, I think in the very initial years itself we could get that. And the main challenge that we are currently struggling is moving towards that data democratization. Like we do have some KPIs, like one of the examples someone mentioned, like for sales it is 16%, but for CFO it is only 12% and all. So having one single platform and single source of truth also sometimes does not solve the problem, because they do have their own data cuts, and how that KPIs, which are very important at the organization level, and we don't allow them to edit those things, but still you provide the right data at the right time to the right people. So that is where some challenges that we are facing as we are, is a journey. So we do have some framework, and I hope you will be able to overcome that.
Sanjay, you began with your presentation. You've got full marks for it from the entire audience here. You've heard from different companies. Clearly, challenges are different. India, as far as regulation is concerned, is also evolving. The regulators are also learning along the way, as are regulators across the world. But having said that, would you say, as far as Indian companies are concerned, particularly those who have these issues of legacy systems, who are still sort of trying to struggle and trying to find their way around, you've got some marquee customers, Indian customers with you at Snowflake. What would be your closing comments?
This gives us an opportunity to understand what the real challenges you are facing and find a way to help you solve that. The most important thing I will say is that, what I started with is, it is important that we put together a strategy in place and we get started on the journey. I do recognize it's a journey. This is not something that we can achieve in a few days or a few weeks' time. We'll have to find opportunities to get started, or the triggers to get started. If monetization is important to you and you're able to do that, we can get started on the journey first. If data democratization is important to you, we can get started on that journey first, and find the areas in the business which are more critical to you and try and solve that. But my simple request is, let's put together a data and AI strategy in place. These are technologies which are truly disruptive. They can absolutely help you unlock value in your business.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, all of you at the audience. You've been a fantastic audience.
Forbes India presents the Data Circle, India's change makers, in association with Snowflake.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to the most anticipated part of the evening, wherein we recognize and celebrate the outstanding contributions of remarkable tech leaders who have left an indelible mark on the industry. They are the driving force behind innovation and transformation, and their dedication has significantly impacted the tech landscape. And to felicitate and honor them, I would request Brian and Sanjay to join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the first tech leader for the evening is Neeraj Chauhan, CIO of PayU. Up next, please join me in welcoming Ramesh Katureddy, Vice President and Head of Engineering at Jumbo Team. The next tech leader, ladies and gentlemen, is Jayant Chauhan, Chief Product and Technology Officer at Mamaearth. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause. Next up, we have Atik Kazi, President Data Performance and Digital Products at Group M India. Atik has been reshaping advertising with data-driven strategies. Calling on stage the next tech leader, Krishna Tamanna, CTO of Gupshup.io. Krishna is the maestro behind conversational AI, making our interactions with technology more human. gentlemen, next up, please give a huge round of applause for Yogesh Bhalla, CTO of TSP Mutual Fund. Yogesh's innovations are making investing more straightforward and profitable for all of us. The next tech leader is Jyotirlata B, CTO of Godrej Capital. Up next, we have Vineet Tyagi from Biz2Credit and Biz2X. He's the global CTO. Let's welcome him with a round of applause. Vineet's global perspective is transforming lending and credit solutions for the better. Moving on to our next tech leader for the evening, please welcome Sajid S. Kumar, Senior Vice President and CIO at Happiest Mind. Moving on, the next tech leader is Sony A, Senior General Manager and CIO of South India Bank. Let's please have him on stage. Sony is making banking more efficient and customer friendly. Calling on stage now, Krishna Rajaraman, CTO of Intellect Design. Krishna is reshaping financial services, making them more efficient and accessible. Please keep the applauses going as we welcome on stage Murari Sridharan, CTO of Bank Bazaar. Murari's contributions have simplified financial decision-making for consumers, making it easier to compare and choose financial products. Up next, we have Fani Mohan Kalgara, CTO of Pine Labs, joining us on stage. And now, calling on stage Saurabh Tiwari, CTO of Policy Bazaar. Saurabh is making insurance policies more understandable and accessible for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the culmination of this event, it's now time to extend our gratitude. Please join me in welcoming Tim Fletcher, VP Product Marketing at Snowflake, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Just want to say three quick things. One is, on behalf of the whole Snowflake team that's here, we just want to extend our congratulations to all the award winners. The second thing is, I'm very inspired by the ambition that everybody shared today for what you're doing for your businesses and for your business's impact on what it means for credit in India or how you're impacting retail. Those are exciting, ambitious journeys and ones that you should all be proud of. The second thing about that is that obviously there's so much change that's happening right now. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation with people around you, and this is an elite group, and hopefully this is a peer group that you can stay in touch with as you're all kind of embracing this change on these missions. And the third and final thing is just we feel privileged to be a small part of your journey. And as Sanjay said, please do tell us how we can help. These are challenges that we see people face a lot. And we feel a good amount of gratitude for just being a part of it with you. So again, thank you so much. And that's it from us.
Forbes India presents the Data Circle, India's change makers, in association with Snowflake.
Focus.
Innovate. Enable.